Hello everybody, welcome to chapter 11 of my romance novel, From a Stranger. Chapter 11, Wednesday, June 25th, Ilio. I'm an idiot. I forgot the sunscreen yesterday. Daniel is pink everywhere except where that life vest and board shorts were. He's going to be feeling that one for a couple of days. Daniel and Shani are outside doing their yoga stuff. Everybody else is getting ready for work or whatever, except Johnny. He didn't sleep last night, again. Always on the computer, always gaming. I was tempted to join Daniel in the living room. And look at Daniel barely move. He must be stiff and sore everywhere. I walk away from the curtains and stare at the muddle of blankets on the couch. He's only going to be here until Sunday. It's finally sinking in. I haven't had a boyfriend or a relationship since Noah and I split a year ago. I pour some coffee and hope the caffeine will chase away the lack of sleep. Either I need to move outside or I need to find a new place. Johnny will drive me crazy, and he never stops gaming. No job, no girlfriend, no life. Are you staying with Daniel tonight? Mom asked as I dodged past her to the fridge. After the luau, Mauricio is fire dancing tonight. I'll be one of the drummers. How serious are you and Daniel? We aren't. There isn't time. You like him, don't you? Is it that obvious? She set some leftovers down on the table and turned to face me. How does he feel for you? I think we could have had something if he didn't have to go back to Nevada. The things I take for granted he's never seen before. Sometimes, like when I took him surfing yesterday, his whole face lights up, and for a moment I see things how he does. Can you believe it? He saw dolphins yesterday. Mom smiled a little. There's this modern invention. It's called a phone. Just because he's 3,000 miles away doesn't mean the relationship has to stop. Mom, we're going to be late, Leilani said from the living room. I gathered up my gear and Daniel, and we headed for the Monarch Imperial. On the way, I bought some lotion for him at Walmart and helped him put it on his face and neck and ears and arms and legs and feet. I'm an idiot. But he did like me massaging his feet. Maybe I'll help him with the lotion at lunch and tonight. It will be a late night tonight. It means that I got to leave for an hour earlier than normal, just to come back later. I don't look forward to Sunday. I wonder how far can our relationship go. Mild flirting is about it. Is it fair to Daniel for it to continue? Maybe I should break it off now. No, I'll keep at it until Sunday at least. He deserves that. Once he leaves, everything will be back to normal. Except, I didn't like normal. Can a guy who lives in Nevada and another who lives in Hawaii ever hope to meet more than once or twice a year? Too much thinking. That's what Noah complained I never did, and now it's all I ever do. I brooded back then, but no one ever noticed. Daniel isn't the only one who stares at nothing. We clean up the ballroom, then ready it for another reception. Wedding, I think. Then it's off for another round of beach cleanup duty, and finally, it's almost 11. I need a break. Chansey finds me pushing one of the chair haulers into the closet. There's a gentleman at the front desk who wishes to speak with you. Daniel? They all know him by now. Lynette even called him my summer project. Everyone here recognizes the poor guy. He's the guy dumped by his fiancée and fell in love with a fire dancer. Ashley wouldn't get any sympathy from this place. She might get charged double for the going rate if she ever stayed here. Sorry, I know Daniel. It's not him. Mr. Whitaker? No, not him either. I don't recognize this guy. He's not currently staying at the hotel. That's got me a little curious. I pack the chair hauler away, lock up, and head down to reception. I know that perfect hair anyway. Noah Jimenez. He wore a tailored beige suit, dark loafers, red shirt with the creases still in, with the jacket casually tossed over one shoulder. Red was my favorite color. What game is he playing this time? I don't know if I'm happy to see him or not. The first time we met, it was magic. Those first few months were incredible. Then the fights began. Those weren't magic. Then the final one, he actually told me to grow up, as if he should speak. He ran his fingers through his hair, revealing the sweat stain under his armpit. Ilio, you are looking fine. He said the last word, extending it until it was almost a sentence by itself. Does anyone say fine anymore? Daniel, I ache everywhere. I can't name a part of my body that doesn't hurt, ache, or isn't sunburned. Ears, crispy. Back, so sore I could barely fall off the couch. Elbow, don't ask. My nose, I think it's there under the burn. Leilani brought me some Tylenol and said I would be better in a few days. Grammy gave me some special tea that smelled like lawn clippings. I stink like Ben Gay because somebody found some in the bathroom and took pity on me. I have it bad. I can't even get a coffee cup to my lips without something hurting. When Shani and I are doing yoga, I can't keep up with her. You move like an old man, Shani says. That I agree with. On the way to the Monarch, Ilio stops at Walmart for lotion for my sunburns. Okay, here is the really bad part. Can we go surfing again? I ask as Ilio massaged my feet and worked the lotion into the parts of my legs I can't bend to touch anymore. Maybe tonight? Next time I drown you in sunscreen first, he laughed. When we arrived at the Monarch, Ilio took my laptop bag and board ahead of me to the sand crab. Is it too much to hope for a cane? He ran back. See you for lunch at 11, old man. I'll be here, babe. A quick kiss and he's off. I somehow make it to the sand crab. You look like you've been boiled, Barney said, and are ready to crack open. Ilio took me surfing yesterday, and I feel every muscle today. I need extra caffeine, please. I am desperate. Barney fixed me up with something very dark, very strong, and I don't think I'll sleep for 3 days. I head out for my morning run, again estimating a 5K, then off for my daily yoga practice. What happened to you? Stacy said. I think it's the first time she's ever spoken. The huge bodyguard is behind her, arms crossed, looking so pissed that I try not to look at his face. I explained. Yoga lady laughed. I have something I take when I overstretch. I'll get it for you later. That day I'm struggling to keep up with anybody, but by the end I can move sort of normal. One of the newcomers stops and pats me on the back. The guru's human after all. Back at the sand crab I get started, only a half an hour behind schedule. More of that coffee, so much I have to pee. I tell my boss and send him the video of Ilio fire dancing. His reply? I sent it to my wife and now she wants me to do that so I can look like him. Thanks a lot. Yoga lady stopped by wearing a Monarch uniform and a name tag that said Lynette and gave me a couple of extra strength something. You surviving all right in the lotion room? That's what my room is called after their 8-hour cleanup session. It still smells like lotion. You get used to the smell, but I'm fine. Add roasting to that as well. Lynette, I've had an idea. Maybe you could tell me if it's possible. I told her my idea, and she made some notes on her phone. I'll look into it. Another hour of work and instant messaging my boss, and it was time to close up the laptop and wait for Ilio. Daniel, will you do me a favor? Barney yelled from the counter. Sure, Barney, as long as I don't have to move very fast. What is it? Can you walk these coffees to the front desk? My other helper is off delivering room service right now. I grab the coffees and head out. Ilio is on the path of some guest who wears too much cologne. I can smell him from 10 feet away, over the coffees. I nod to Ilio, but he didn't see me. After dropping off the coffees, I took a long piss and walked back to the sand crab. Ilio. Years ago, when I first saw Noah, I thought he was the most beautiful man I had ever seen. My dad is Caucasian, and my mom is Hawaiian. Though they split, they never divorced. Noah Jimenez's mother was Hawaiian, his dad Hispanic. Both are very nice people, and their family rivals my own in size. Between the Hawaiian traditions and the Mexican ones, it seemed they were celebrating something every week. His sister's quinceañera, or an uncle's wedding, or the big Christmas Eve festival where they put up the Christmas tree and decorated it with edible ornaments everyone had made the week before. His mom decorated everything, and made both Hawaiian food and Mexican food for every occasion, and often mixed them. My favorite? Pulled pork tacos seasoned with pineapple and a mango salsa on the side. Noah had none of that. He didn't like either the Hawaiian traditions or the Mexican ones. I always thought they were fun. I didn't understand what was being celebrated half the time, but that didn't matter. Between our two families, we had something happening all the time. That annoyed Noah. There was a time towards the end of our relationship that he refused to join in any of the celebrations and expected me to do the same. I didn't. He wanted me to stop surfing, never understanding that I needed to swim to keep the joint fluid. Somewhere in that year, I went from a love-struck kid to being afraid all the time of what he would do. I was trapped, not knowing any better. I know I needed to leave, but I was too scared to do anything. Noah had a way of making me do what he wanted. And here he was at my work. We walked into the sand crab, and I looked for Danny. His laptop was there, and the board, but no Danny. Danny's running an errand for me, Barney said, polishing a fluted wine glass. He'll be back in a couple of minutes. Usual order? I nodded. Send Danny over when he gets back. I wonder if Barney could see how tense my shoulders were, or the way I wiped my palms on my shorts. Noah seated himself at a table on the other side of the room from Danny's stuff. I prayed Danny would hurry. "Bartender," Noah said, "wine list." Barney set the glass down, frowning, and picked up a menu and wine list. He looked at me, tilting his head a little. "He's like that," I whispered. Taking the wine list, Noah glanced at it, hissing. Not much of a selection. 2 red wines. Inhaling to stay calm, I let it out slowly. "Noah, you never understood, did you? Barney, make mine a cola, please."